Today's a new day of videotaping. Beautiful Anna behind the camera as usual. And this is my newest pony in training to sell. It is September. It's September of 2021. I was forgetting the 20 part and saying 2021. Today, the reason he's wiggling so much is I have treats in this hand. And he knows it. So that's why he's wiggling around so much. So I'll give him an excuse for how much he's wiggling around right now because of the treats in this hand. I'll show them to you guys, but not to the pony. So what I'd like to do first with Miss Anna is a segment on bridling. So we did do a segment on saddle fit. I did it for the dressage saddle. I know a lot of you people, you viewers, are not using a dressage saddle. So I should do a little segment on the hunt saddles and on the western saddles as well. I'm not sure if I will, but I did a segment on saddle fit for a dressage saddle. So what I thought I would do first today is a bridle and bridling segment. So let me just introduce again, Mr. Twirl. So Twirl is my newest addition. He's been here about half a month, about 2 weeks. He's precious, as you can see. He's a pony. He's about 14 hands. He's about 10 years old. He is a blue roan Pinto Pony. He's a grade pony. He's ranch bred. You'll see he has a tattoo, a brand, not a tattoo. He has a brand. There it is, right there. Can you see it? Okay, good. He has a brand on his shoulder, so he was clearly what we call ranch bred, but he's unregistered. Gosh only knows what he is. I'll tell you guys what I think he is from looking at him. What I think he is breed-wise, when you watch him go, you haven't seen him go yet, but when you watch him go, he presents himself with a very high neck, and he's actually a really, really big sport pony mover. He's actually an excellent mover. Often these ponies are sort of mediocre movers. This thing moves like a performance pony. So that, with the way he presents himself really uphill, I see hackney pony. So I think there's a little hackney pony in him. I think there's some paint because clearly, and he's ranch bred. So I'm assuming paint. Also, I think there's some Welsh pony in him. So my guess is he's probably a little bit of hackney pony, a little bit of Welsh pony, and some paint horse. Also, he came from Texas. And so the paint horse part kind of fits into that as well. So that's what we're thinking he is breed-wise. He's adorable. He is precious. He's perfect. He came as a gymkhana, western, rodeo, trail. I can do anything with any child pony. Long mane. We call it that long Mustang mane. Sorry, he's looking for the treats. He has to wait. I usually don't have the treats in my hand because they do this, but I'm in preparation for the video segment I'm about to do on bridling. I did put it in my hand. So just a heads up, you guys, I would not put treats in your hand because they do this. I don't even put treats in my pocket because they do this. So, again, I put it in my hand just because I was in preparation for the segment we're about to do. And he's very aware of that. What was I going to say about you, sweet pony? I was going to say something else. Oh, he came from Texas. I think that's what I was going to say is he came from Texas. Oh, I remember. So he was a western pony. Western runaround, gymkhana, everything pony. I have pictures to prove it. They're fabulous. You'll see that when I run his full ad in a couple weeks. But we decided to turn him into a fancy schmancy English pony. So because of his movement, he's a super fantastic mover. because I have a picture of him jumping in a Western saddle, and even in the Western saddle with a kid that's probably never jumped before, his front legs are really typey and up and even and beautiful. So his form over fences was gorgeous, even though he was in the worst of circumstances. So that in conjunction with what a fantastic mover he is, in conjunction with that's where the money is. And she spent too much for him. She brought him over from Texas. She spent too much for him. Then of course there's the shipping costs. And when he arrived, she realized that he was not the pony that she thought he was going to be. And so after a couple months of working with him, with her two daughters, age 5 and 8, she realized it wasn't a good match. So he went and hung out in her pasture for about a month. And then he came to me. She was waiting to bring him to me and I was full. So he hung out for a month waiting for me. As you can see, he's beyond precious. Okay, so that's, so in accordance with that, I shortened his mane. I gave him a pony mane, an English pony mane. So we shortened his mane so he looked the part, and I changed his name. So he came with the name Apache, but Apache feels like a Western pony. So I wanted to give him a more English name to go along with his new persona. And so because of his forehead, can you see he's got a whirl here that I thought looked like a cyclone. So I thought about calling him Cyclone, but the connotations are not good. So then I thought about calling him Whirl. But even those connotations aren't great because you don't really want a pony whirling out from under your child. So, oh, that's cute. And so instead I named him Twirl. So his name is Twirl, which I love. I think it suits him beautifully. I think it's a great pony name. And his owner, his current owner who's selling him, loves it. So this is Mr. Twirl. Today, right now, we're going to do a little bit about bridling. I'll run through the parts of the bridle once it's on him. But mostly what I want to show you guys is the power of treats. So I love the Mrs. Pastor's horse cookies. I feel like they're the best cookies on the market. Yes, they're a little more expensive, but I think they're the best tasting cookies on the market, and the horses love them. They're very easy to work with. They don't go bad like apples and carrots. So when I first start bridling these guys, I give them the 2 Mrs. Pastor's cookies, and then I put the bridle on. And what happens after a couple weeks or a short period of time is that the horse or pony equates the bit with cookies, and they can't wait to put that bit in their mouth. They love the bit because they equate it with cookies. Now eventually you can stop giving them the cookies if you want, because the training's already been done and they can't wait to open their mouth for the bit. But I like to sweeten the deal. So my guys do get 2 Mrs. Pastor's horse cookies when I put their bridles on. Now, I know he's being obnoxious. Don't think I don't know that he's being obnoxious. That's my fault because I have the cookies in my hand. Normally, I wouldn't. I would have walked in, I would have given the cookies, pulled the halter off, put the bridle on. But instead I got distracted and talked all about Mr. Twirl. So here we go for the beginning of our little bridle section. Are we still in a good place? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So for bridling, just pop the halter off and give him 2 cookies. Okay? And just let him chew for a moment. Now he's wearing a hunter bridle. But I want you to see, I'm going to show you different ways of putting the bridle on, but I want you to see the power of the cookies. So because of the cookies, you can just dangle the bit in front of their mouth and they just take it. And it's marvelous because you have a horse or a pony that looks forward to the bit. And all of you, I'm positive, have run up against horses and ponies that won't take a bit. And in a minute, I'm going to show you what I call the baby horse style of putting a bridle on. That will help you so much with the horses that don't want to take a bit. But if you give them the 2 cookies and they have that idea in their head, you can just hover the bit in front of their mouths and they just gobble up the bit, and it becomes a really, really good experience. And I'm going to do it with the rest of my 4 sale horses for you guys today, just so that you can see it's not just Twirl. All of my guys take the bit like that. And even my horses that come to me and won't take a bit, after I've worked with them for a couple weeks, they can't wait. They can't wait to take the bit. Okay, so while we have Twirl, let's talk about what I just put on his face. So because Twirl is going to be a hunter pony, I put a hunter bridle on him. All right, the hunter bridles, I'm just going to toss that over there for now. The hunter bridles are usually brown, pretty much always brown, and they usually have pretty stitching on them. Okay, I don't know if you can see, Anna, can you see the pretty stitching on the brow and on the noseband? This is a very, very basic hunter bridle, so you know, it's nothing fancy schmancy. I love these bridles. They come from Dover Saddlery. They're Dover Saddlery's version. This is a cob, and it barely fits him because he's a pony. It fits him at the very, very top, but it's a cob, so it's a smaller horse size. The prices are so amazing. They're like, it's like between $60 and $80 for this wonderful bridle, and it comes with the hunter reins. Hunter reins are braided. All right, that's very typical of the hunter reins. I'll show you when I do my other bridles. When I do my dressage bridle, the reins are different. Comes with the reins. Pretty awesome quality of the leather. Really nice, really good looking. Fits everybody great. Somewhere around 80 bucks. You don't have to spend 400 bucks. You don't. You can spend between 60 and 80 bucks and get a fabulous bridle. Okay? So this is a hunter bridle because he's going to be a hunter pony. I'll go ahead and close the noseband, and then with Miss Anna, we're going to just go through the parts of the bridle, and I'm only going to do that once because they're the same no matter what bridle you're wearing. So now he's working the bit because, I don't know, because he's working the bit. I'm just getting to know this guy, so he's working the bit. I'm going to close the throat latch, and then I'm not sure if Anna's going to need to zoom in for the parts of the bridle. I'm not sure. Are we zoomed in enough? Are we good? So we took a moment just for, you know, technical stuff. So the bridle, parts of the bridle. I know I ran through parts of the saddle, not every little dang part, but the big parts, the parts that every horse person should know about the bridle. Okay, and remember this is the hunter bridle. So the crown piece is the part that goes over the top of their head. So over the pole, remember we talked about parts of the horse, why we need to know the name pole, the word pole. The crown piece goes over the pole, like a crown. This is the brow band. Most of you know about the brow band because you can order any kind of brow band now. You can get them in mega bling, and I mean mega bling, total like dazzle your eyes bling. Or you can just get them nice and simple like this with the stitching. You can get any bridle and put a different brow band on it. So you can order the brow bands by themselves, and you can have, you know, if you have a specific color for your horse or whatever it is, you can order a separate brow band and put it on your bridle. So crown piece, brow band, this is called a cavesson. With the English bridles, they're usually just a cavesson. It's just a noseband. Just a noseband, we call it a cavesson. I know he's working the bit. It could be that we think his teeth need to be done, so that could be part of it. I do have an appointment with the vet to have his teeth done. Also, his eyes, since he came to us, have been really weepy. You're going to see me wiping his eyes a lot. They've been really weepy. And just FYI, you guys, about veterinary stuff, if your horse's eyes are weepy, and even though you've got a fly mask on and the eyes are protected and they stay weepy, sometimes it's because the eye ducts, the tear ducts, are blocked. All right. So just a little veterinary sidebar. If you've got a horse's eyes that just keep weeping and weeping and weeping, and it's not the flies and it's not the dust and it's not the smoke, they could have blocked tear ducts. So the vet comes and they do need to sedate them. I believe they always sedate them, and they unblock their tear ducts, their eye ducts. And so I do have an appointment with the vet to come to do his eye ducts and to do his sweet teeth. Just a sidebar. Okay, crown piece, brow band, cavesson. If you want to call it a nose band, fine, but it's a cavesson. These are the cheek pieces because they run down his cheek. Remember the parts of the horse? They run down his cheek. So isn't he cute? Cute pony. One of the cutest ponies I've ever met in our program. We only had one other pony that I think was as cute as this. His name was Walter. But this, I think, is about as cute as it gets. These are the cheek pieces, and this is the throat latch. And that's all you guys gotta know. It's so easy. It's crown piece, brow band, cavesson / nose band, cheek pieces, throat latch. It's a no-brainer. Western bridles pretty much never have a nose band. Western bridles, I'm just going to say never have a nose band. Sometimes Western trainers will put a drop nose band on to teach the horse to keep their mouth closed, but pretty much across the board, Western bridles do not have nose bands. I'll try to put a Western bridle. Are any of my horses Western? I think I'll put a Western bridle on Legacy so you guys can see what the Western bridles look like. And then my other guys will get dressage bridles. This particular bit is called a full cheek. I love the full cheeks. Have we talked about bits yet? Did we do a section on? We'll do a section on bits. So this is called a full cheek. They're my favorite. I love them. They're really wonderful for teaching the horses how to steer, and they give you a lot more control over the horse's whole face. So when you pull on this rein, it not only brings his nose around, but it kind of brings the whole side of his face around. I feel like the full cheeks stabilize the bits. For me. I really like the feeling. Plus, if you really have to pull a horse around, you're not going to pull the bit into their mouth. So I'm really big on the full cheeks these days. For the dressage horses, I use a German training snaffle. But for anybody that you're having trouble turning, or any youngsters that are learning how to steer, I highly recommend the full cheeks. And I'm going to morph into a little thing about bits in a moment. So this is going to be bridles and bits, because while we're working on bridles, I might as well be teaching you about bits. So we're going to do both today in this little section. That might be all we do today. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so Mr. Twirl is wearing a hunter bridle for a pony. It's a cob size. It's still a little too big. Really, a pony bridle would fit him better. And he's wearing a standard old boring full cheek. So when I pull this off, so when you take the bridle off, undo the nose band, cavesson, undo the throat latch. Okay, now this is really, really important. Do not yank the bit out of their mouths. Horse Comfort 101. Did you see my nails? One of the reasons I had Anna come down today is because I did my nails in Clarity Blue. This is Clarity Blue. So I have not been doing my nails in blue. I've been very conservative with my nail color. We've been doing lilac and mauve and lavender. But for some reason I decided to go do Clarity Blue, and I called Anna and I said, you gotta do a video segment because my fingers are Clarity Blue and they might never be Clarity Blue again. So today's all about my Clarity Blue nails. I know my nails are ridiculous. I know it. I got it. I'm super conservative. I'm allowed to show my personality somewhere. I'm showing it with my Clarity Blue nails with sparkles. When you take the bridle off, don't yank it out of their mouths. Let the horse spit it out. Okay? So, take it from the crown piece and just let him spit it out. So just lower it very gradually so it doesn't clunk his teeth. And it's off. And he doesn't need more treats because I just gave him 2. And I love you. And you're precious. And there it is. There's our first horse with the hunter bridle, and we're going to go on to the next 4.